Well, can I tell you about my trip to
Yes, I
Boston
want to
this
hear
week?
about it.
Okay, so less than 24 hours. Like, it was
Mhm.
such a whirlwind. I My flight was at 9 a.m. Tuesday.
Mhm.
So I had planned to leave here like 4,
Mhm.
because in my mind I just needed 2 hours to get to Atlanta, even though okay,
Mhm.
and I knew it would be an hour ahead. So like in my mind I'm like, oh, 7 o'clock, I'm good. Well, I get in my car to leave at 3:57 a.m. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
doing great. And I put in my parking where I was going to be parking. It said 3.5 hours,
Mhm.
which had that hour built in. So like
Right.
it was the same, but at 7:30. So I was like, okay, great. So I'm trying to like shave time off as I'm going, and it
Mhm.
doesn't matter how fast I'm going. We're still sitting steady at 7:30. I'm like,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, cool. So then I get into Atlanta and it like starts giving me faster routes. I'm like, yeah, we need to do those. We need to do that. It did it twice, changed my route twice.
Mhm.
I get stuck in school and work traffic.
Mhm.
It was horrible.
I'm so
It took
sorry.
me, I didn't park until 8 a.m. Boarding started at 8:15.
Oh
I
God.
was off site,
Yeah.
wasn't even at the airport yet, had to get on my shuttle. I get dropped off, and I'm worried about security.
Mhm.
And it's not even that, like I was just praying that lines weren't bad. But then I was like, I don't even know where my gate is, like how far I'm gonna have to run through this airport. So get dropped off. I am not fully running, but I'm walking so fast, having like internal dialogue with myself. Like, first, the whole drive there, I'm praying that my flight gets delayed.
Mhm.
Just praying, just delay it just by a little bit.
Right.
Because I thought, I mean, I got Frontier and I got like the basic, like
Mhm.
non refundable. It's not changing. Like, if I miss my flight, I still just have to pay for a new flight. Like, I was like, oh
Right.
God, I'm turning around going home. Like, I don't know what to do. So I'm booking it through this airport, and this lady like intersects me. She walks out in front of me in the airport, and she's like, "You look like you're in a hurry." I was like, "Yeah." She said, "Do you have Clear Plus?" I said, "No." She said, "We're running a promo right now. It's free until May 5th. You
Mhm.
sign up right now. I'll escort you to security. You'll go straight through that line. It's usually, because it's like you pay a membership,
Mhm.
so it's usually not long.
Mhm.
Not every airport has that
No, they
line though."
don't. Yeah.
So I was like, "Sure, sign me up." So like we're signing up. I said, "It's not charging me anything today." No, and it didn't. So she said, "And you can use this coming back too." Well, I could have if Boston had theirs open
Mhm.
at 4:30 in the morning, which they did not. Didn't matter. So I get it off, fill out what I need to, and then
Mhm.
she starts running, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I gotta
Let's
keep up
go.
with her. So I'm running. She's running down escalators. I'm having to run, say, "Excuse me" to people. It was so awkward. We get, and she like escorts me to the front of the line,
Yeah.
and I was literally in through that line in less than 30 seconds.
That's awesome.
And so then I'm like on the other side of security. I'm in Terminal A and I need to go to Terminal E.
Mhm.
So I had to get on the train at Atlanta, go from A to E. I get off the train at E1. My gate is E42 on the
Mhm.
opposite end of. So that's when I start running,
Yeah.
because at this point boarding stops at 8:40. It was 8:30, and
Yeah.
I just, and like when you look at the signs it's like, "Oh, 13-minute walk to
Right.
your gate." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
We
heck
don't have
no.
that.
I got to get." So I'm running. I'm like second or third from the last people admitted on the plane. I was like, at this point, I mean, I had curled my hair, I had full face of makeup on, and I had
Yeah.
on like the clothes I was going to be wearing at this thing. I'm dripping sweat. I
Oh
don't remember
no.
the last time I had been sweat, other than this morning working in the garage, sweating that much. And
Yeah.
there's one thing, if I'm in like outdoor clothes or clothes that I'm prepared to be sweaty in,
I get that.
different. I'm
Yes.
like, sure, wiping my face on my clothes.
Yeah,
But
no.
when I'm in like, I don't want to say dress clothes, this because I wasn't in dress clothes, but you just know, like, just
Right.
going out into the world clothes.
You got dressed for
Yes,
something.
my hair
Yes.
is full on, no curl left. It is big, and I'm just like, I'm dying.
Yes.
So then I'm trying to adjust my air to give myself some air, because I'm in the middle seat also. Because
Yes.
I went basic of the basics where I did
Right.
not pay to choose my seat, so I just took what they gave me.
Right.
In between these two men, but I made it. That's all that matters. I
Mhm.
made it on that flight. It did not get delayed. We land. I turn my phone back on, and it says, "Your flight has been delayed." Well, we're here, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No, it didn't.
Right.
It was really weird. Everything worked out though. It was fine. I snoozed a little bit on there because I've been up since 2:45.
Mhm.
I get my rental car. She was like, "Oh, it's a brand new. Nobody's ever driven it." And I'm like, "Great." She said, "We have 3 different colors. Which one do you want?" I'm like, I don't really care. Just give me one." I don't care about that. So
Right.
she gave me this white 2026 Jeep Wrangler. It was beautiful. It's not for me like an everyday vehicle,
Mhm.
but it was still, I love a new car smell. I
Mhm.
love a big screen that I have. And like, it drove fine. It was like blowing all over the place. So
They're not very aerodynamic.
yeah. But driving in Boston, no big deal. Like
Mhm.
it was great.
Mhm.
Better than driving around here.
Mhm.
People are way more accommodating and just nice, and
Huh.
they just do their thing. Got back to Atlanta, and I really immediately wanted to kill somebody. Horrible.
Yeah, well, traffic in Atlanta is just
Oh yeah,
another
here too
beast.
though. It's just, but oh yeah. So, but I'll get to the thing and
Mhm.
the line. I got there. It started at 2. I got there at 2:30,
Mhm.
and most people in line were there by themselves, like
That's cool
solo
though.
people, but
Yeah.
most of them were from around there. Except one person commented on TikTok, he flew in from Florida. So
Mhm.
like other people had done that. But I met, so there were 2 people that live in that area who have been on the show before.
Mhm.
And one was actually a winner. And
Mhm.
so they were there meeting people. So I got a picture with one from 2 summers ago,
Mhm.
Kenny. And then when we went through, like they had it set up where 3 people were giving their interviews at one time. I blacked out, not a clue what I said. Probably wasn't good. Oh well, it is what it is. It was all worth it to me. It's fine. I'll
Absolutely.
do it again. But
Yes.
I have no idea what I said. Truly, honestly, like we got these numbers and we had to hold it up so they'd see, who was to associate. Like this video is with B. I was B52.
Okay.
So had a microphone, like you're holding a microphone talking to the camera. It was a
That's
lot going on.
intense.
It's a lot
Yeah.
going on because out in front of you, it's the line of people
Mhm.
and people just standing back here chit chatting. So it's like it's a lot happening.
Mhm.
But then the winner from a few years ago, and he was on the Traders recently. He was standing around talking, and so we stood around, had a full conversation with him, asked because he's from the area.
Mhm.
We were talking to him about the show and traders and just it was great. And so we
That's
took pictures with
awesome.
him. His name is Derek, and he was an undercover cop when he got
Mhm.
on the show. Now he has 2 true crime podcasts.
Okay.
So he's one of my favorites of all time. So it was really this. I made friends with a couple people in line that were there by themselves, and they were like, we all said that made it all worth it right there, was meeting him.
Absolutely.
It was
Yeah.
so fun though, but I was so exhausted by that point. I had about
Oh
an hour
yeah.
and a half drive left to get back to my hotel.
Mhm.
Stayed in such a cute little area. Would have been great to like get out and walk. Except here in Alabama, it's about 80 degrees. There it's 44.
Ooh.
And I did not dress appropriately.
Oh
So I
no.
was not going out and
Yeah.
about. I had not eaten all day.
Mhm.
It's just too much happening. I didn't have time to get
No.
anything. And so I just ordered food to be delivered to the hotel. It was such a
Yeah.
cute hotel. So nice. A great area. Like, would have been great to get out and walk. But then I woke up at 2:15 the next morning, had to catch another flight.
Yes.
Got to the airport before security was even open.
That's okay.
And then went straight to work. But,
Yeah. I'm so excited that you went, and you know,
hmm
that could be a really daunting task to somebody else, but I mean, like you said, totally worth it
hmm
to have had the opportunity.
yeah.
That's so
Just
cool.
to even say I did it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I've even said it out loud, but it was for Big Brother. I
Mhm.
mean, I said the people were on it, but it was for the upcoming season of Big Brother. 28th season will
Mhm.
be this summer. So there's so many, I mean, lots of people, and thousands and thousands apply every year. So, but anyways, But
Well,
one
I hope
who,
you hear something.
oh, well, I hope so too. I pray about it daily.
Press play again. 2 roommates, 1 remote. The Rewatch podcast where we dive back into the movies and shows we couldn't stop talking about in college and probably still can't. We're your hosts, Anna and Megan, 2 roommates with 1 remote, ready to laugh, debate, and maybe get a little too nostalgic as we revisit the classics and discover a few new favorites along the way. So grab your popcorn, press play, and hang out with us as we rewind it all, episode by episode, movie by movie.
How's your week been? I mean, it's been
It was a wild week.
a while since we've recorded.
Yeah. Sick last week, or not this past week, like the week before that, and then had a bunch of crazy stuff for work. Only thing I've done that's been, I guess, newsworthy was I went to the dirt track races last night and got to sit infield, and that was awesome.
And where is this?
Talladega short track.
Okay. And that's like part of the races that are happening this weekend, right?
Yeah, the big one that was supposed to have happened tonight, they canceled it because they were anticipating all the rain. And I think it's the World of Outlaws was supposed to race tonight, and it's a big deal. So bummed that they aren't doing that tonight.
Yeah.
But last night was awesome. I had an absolute blast.
Yeah.
I've been before and sat in the stands, but getting to sit infield was an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
And also getting to sit inside of a truck, because the last time I went was around a year ago, and I came home with a sinus infection from hell. Literally, I was out sick for like 2 weeks. I had to have 2 rounds of antibiotics to kick it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Like, I literally wished I was dead. It was terrible. So I woke up this morning and felt a heck of a lot better than I did the last time that I went. So
that's good.
And 2, I appreciated the fact that I didn't go home with the worst headache ever too, because it's really loud.
Yeah.
And there's some
True.
insulation sitting inside of a car. But
yeah.
The announcer was absolutely the best, or the highlight of some of it, because he had me cracking up so hard. He was talking about one of the racers that came through 2 different, like 2 cards that were sitting like this, and he came up the middle, and he's like, he was the bologna, hold the mayonnaise, hold the mustard. He slid right between the 2 of them. And I just died laughing. At another point, he was talking about somebody's debit card that had been turned in at the office. And he was like, and if you don't pick it up, I'll be headed to the gas station to pick up 2 cases for the weekend. Anyway, it was just, I mean, seriously, he was awesome.
Yeah. That makes it fun.
It does. But anyway, it helps having friends with connections to get you in.
Yeah.
I got in free too. So.
Oh, that's nice. I saw this morning somebody posted Jason Kelsey, the football player.
Mm-hmm.
He's here for it this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was at Waffle House.
Mm-hmm. I want some Waffle House so bad.
Okay, so the synopsis for episode 20. With Dawson and Joey back together, he decides to take her out to a romantic dinner for old time's sake. But also eating out are Mitch and Nicole. On top of that, the restaurant, not realizing that there are 2 Leary parties, has only 1 table available, forcing all 4 of them to sit together, which immediately serves up tension. Also at the restaurant are Jen and Gail, where Dawson, Joey, and Jen attempt to reunite Gail and Mitch after Nicole walks out from the constant arguing. But the ploy only works temporarily. Meanwhile, Andie begins to fall into insanity when she begins changing her hair color from blonde to brown and begins having ghost encounters with her deceased brother Tim, while Pacey and Jack catch on and try to confront her with her mental state. This episode aired on May 12th, 1999. It has a popularity rating of 82 out of 128 and an IMDb user rating of 31 out of 128.
That's a pretty big split.
It is, and I kind of get it, because I like the Andie and Pacey storyline, as tough as it is. I like that heaviness because it does give us like some meat to hold on to in this episode. And I'm fine with even like the Dawson of it all and like everything going on with all them. what I did not like about this episode really had nothing to do with characters, storyline, anything. It was, and this is not to disrespect because I clearly don't know anything about what I'm talking about. I didn't like the directing.
No.
It was and it wasn't as much when it was around Dawson and at the restaurant and stuff, but at the McPhee house, it was so
Yes, it
strange.
was.
It was everywhere they were going. It was following, but it wasn't like doing it in a smooth, fluid
No.
motion. And then it was like shaky, and it was so weird. And instead of when Pacey's walking down the stairs after he sees the photo album, instead of the camera being at the bottom watching him as he's coming down, it's behind him running down the stairs with
Yeah.
him. It's like, that was weird. I didn't like it. It really took me out of the episode.
Well, I felt very distracted by, and we know that this show can flip back and forth between storylines, but it was like every 3 sentences it felt like we were flipping back and forth.
Yeah, it
And
wasn't done well either. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you're gonna have a scene, give it a moment to just kind of have a
To breathe.
fluid
Uh-huh.
situation
Mhm.
unfold
Mhm.
before you switch gears.
Mhm.
Because it's like you don't finish this thought before you move to another, and you're having to, redirect. And
Yeah, and they're not storylines that are close enough
no,
related or even on the same heavy level
no, and it
that they don't go together. So,
emotionally it was like a
mhm.
yo-yo.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not a huge fan of this episode.
It Yeah, I can do without it as a whole. The whole storyline of Andie is the necessary part of it because it leads us to,
Yes, we know.
the rest. But so I do know, like when I think about the last 3 episodes of this season, that scene of her in the bathroom and Pacey on the outside of the door
Yeah.
and her seeing her brother, like it is, I know it's coming.
Mhm.
It's a big one. But as a whole, yeah, it honestly, if it would have been directed a little bit like that scene was so heavy, the whole thing of it. But back in episode 5, I think it was, when Dawson, it's his parents are dealing with everything, and even in that episode, Pacey helps calm her mom down at the grocery store. That episode was heavy all around,
Mhm.
very heavy episode. But because it was directed so well,
Right.
it was a good, very good episode. This one, it was choppy. It was a mess.
Well, choppy was going to be my description
Mhm.
for it for
Mhm.
sure.
I mean, I'm not going to go as low as we went in some of season 1, or you, I
Right.
guess, because I gave 7s
No,
and
I
8s.
didn't go quite
But
that
I
far.
won't go that low. But it's not what it's been this season.
No, and I remembered a lot of the storyline of this
Mhm.
episode as it started. I appreciated it opening with everybody
Yeah,
in
that's
one
fun.
place, which kind of set a high expectation, I felt
Mhm.
like, and then it just kind
Because they
of,
really were all getting along.
yeah,
Like there was no tension between Jen and Joey. I mean, even her saying, "I live here now," so
yeah.
like it. And I honestly forgot she moved in with them temporarily. I
Well,
went straight to Jack and
I had
Andie's
forgotten
house.
what all had happened right before
Mhm.
because it's been a couple
Oh
weeks.
yeah, Graham's kicked her out.
Well, as soon as she
Yeah,
said it, I remembered. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good opening scene
mm-hmm.
as a whole with all of them, because we haven't seen, other than no, because even at the all nighter where they were studying, Jack wasn't
Yeah,
there.
no,
I mean, other than when they're the mystery of did this couple sleep together or not in the
mm-hmm.
classroom. That's the first time all 6 of these people have been
Mm-hmm.
really all together. And that wasn't a lighthearted episode. This was a fun friends hanging out. Even though Dawson was like, "Well, I really just invited Pacey," so then
Right.
it like spirals from there. It was still fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yeah, but I did this, and so it kind of like it made it very realistic. Like, we didn't plan this whole group outing; it just
No,
happens. But
yeah,
that happens in real life sometimes. It's
it
not like you're
does.
planning a full party. Sometimes you just invite one friend, and then it turns into a whole group hang,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fun.
It
It's
is.
fun. But I did. I like that part too.
Yes, and talking about the um, directing and stuff, you know, more of kind of like the inner workings of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, remember, we talked about was the music in some
Mm-hmm.
scenes was so loud you couldn't hear what they were saying.
Yes.
Like those little things might not be a big deal to some people, but it
Mm-hmm.
takes away from the
Uh-huh.
overall experience of the episode.
Yeah, it was hard to hear what they were saying in the first part of the
Well, there
of the
was
episode.
a couple of scenes, but
Mhm.
anyway.
But immediately after the opening credits, Andie has dyed her hair. So that's it. Kind of while the opening scene was good, it felt
Yeah,
out of place.
it
The
does.
only way it felt like it should be in this episode is because in the very previous episode, Jen gets kicked out of Grams's house.
Mhm.
So that's how we know, okay, it really does go here, but it just didn't go with the rest of the episode.
Correct. And that's part of, I guess,
Mhm.
a little more to why I said, yeah, I had high expectations for
Uh-huh.
the episode because I didn't know what was coming before it started. But as it went on, I immediately, when I saw
Her
Tim in the
hair.
hallway,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
the
wondered if
hair
you
didn't
remembered
strike
him.
me yet. But when I saw Tim in the hallway, I was like, oh, I know where we're headed.
Okay, so I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first watched this show, however long ago that was, I don't know if, because I wouldn't have watched it in 99, so it's not like I was waiting a week at a time. But whenever it was, I did not know who he was. Like, I did
I
not put
didn't
it
either when I
together.
watched it for the first time last time
Even
with
her
you.
having her nervous breakdown and seeing Abby in the last episode, like, I still didn't put it together that this is her brother. I honestly, even though in my mind I was questioning where did he come from, I
Right.
still thought she was having some kind of emotional affair with somebody. Maybe she met him at therapy. That was really where my brain was.
Right. And I mean, I think they kind of directed in a way to
Mhm.
lead you in
Well,
that
because he
misdirect.
wasn't called Tim.
No, correct.
Mhm.
And the way he talks to her makes you almost think that
Yeah.
there's some kind of a romantic
Yeah.
element involved. Um, and especially too when he first shows up and he's just kind of
Staring.
lurking in the hallway, smiling at her,
Mhm.
and just their exchange of
Mhm.
whatever facial expressions. It just makes you kind of think, where did he, like you said, where did he come
Mhm.
from, and when did that happen? So honestly, the first time I ever saw it at your house, whenever it was that we watched it, um, it almost gave me like, I can't think of his name, Jen's ex-boyfriend that shows up out of nowhere kind of
Oh yeah,
vibes,
uh-huh.
like
Billy.
Billy. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
He just shows up in the hallway,
Mhm.
leaned up against some lockers. It was like, oh God, have we got another one of those
Mhm.
going on? That was my first thought. And then, we find out that it's
Yeah. Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah. Andie changing her hair, it was very out of left field.
Agreed. And I mean, she looks fine, but
Mhm.
the blonde looks better on her,
Mhm.
we'll be
Mhm.
honest. Um, I mean, it definitely triggers the thought of what is going on, because I mean, we all know
Yeah.
some women just have, you know, a big event or emotional situation happen and they just go change their hair,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it really can trigger you to feel like somebody else sometimes.
Yeah. And for her, it's like a comfort thing of like,
Mhm.
as Pacey sees later in the photo album 3 years ago with her brothers, it's like a comfort of being close to Tim, and
Mhm.
she's seeing him now, which was triggered by Abby dying, and she saw
Mhm.
Abby, and her doctor. She goes back to therapy, and her doctor mentions about getting on medication.
Yeah, but doesn't she say it like going back on medication?
Well, I don't remember how the doctor worded it, but then Andie says, "But I thought you said I didn't have to."
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, which we know she's been on medicine too. So,
Right.
but
Well, I just, one of the thoughts that crossed my mind too was, we see them discussing their mom at some point,
mhm.
and we haven't seen her
No.
like ever, and I've been wondering, especially when we've had scenes at Andie's house, like, where is their mom?
Well, she says in the beginning of this episode, "I'm going to study tonight, and I've got to take care of mom."
Right. So, you know, there's the scene where I don't remember what gets broken when she's trying to take
The
the apple.
lamp.
Yes, the lamp. It's like, how does all this transpire? Is their mom in some kind of a mental facility, and there's some element of that she's got to go take care of mom, because otherwise
Mhm.
none of that makes sense to me.
No.
I mean, unless she is just so knocked out that she's sleeping 24/7 in
I
her
know,
bedroom.
but
Like,
you
none
know,
of
the
that makes
last time the
sense.
dad was there, he had made a comment about getting her mom help. So it would only make sense if she was in a facility. It would
Correct.
only make
I
sense
mean, that
that way.
literally, that's the
Yeah.
only thing that I could come up with.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even when Jack comes in,
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing's
there's
mentioned
no
about their
way
mom.
that you've got these teenagers in your house and you've not come through or
Mhm.
checked on them just once. And
Mhm.
not that she's probably, at least we're led to believe that she's not really even in a mental state that she could be responsible
Right.
necessarily to do that. But I, I don't know. Some of that just makes no sense to me at
Yeah,
all.
there's not really like a connecting thread. We're just to assume, which that would be the only thing that makes sense.
Well,
But
I feel like if we're just to, I mean, they don't make a mention of where the mom is at all. And I feel like that's a really poor piece to how some of this is written.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, just make a simple statement that she's off getting help or
Mhm.
she is somewhere else,
Mhm.
because otherwise it's like, I mean, yeah, now somebody can drive or
Or
they're old
even
enough to
just
get to
say,
school,
instead of
but
I've got to take care of mom, say I need to go visit mom.
yeah,
Something simple like that, because then we could tie it back to dad came to visit and said he was going to get her help. So we could kind of piece that together. But yeah,
no, it's just really strange.
I agree. I
And
agree.
like I said, poor writing on that part.
Yeah. And I don't know, I wish we knew like how much time has truly passed since Abby's thing. Like how long has she
Yeah,
been having these ghost encounters? How long has she been seeing people?
right. I would even like to know how long it's been since Graham's kicked
Right. Like
Jen
we
out.
need some time of how long this has been. I don't think anything was said.
No, there's no timestamps in any of
Mm-mm.
this because I was
Mm-mm.
deliberately listening.
Yeah.
Um, because obviously Jen has had enough time that she's living there now, not
Mm-hmm.
just she's come over and
Staying
asked,
here. Yeah.
or like she's had to go get stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
stuff is there, she's living there
Mm-hmm.
now. And I mean, we're having to fill in the blanks, in my opinion.
Okay, when her and Gail are sitting on the back
That's
porch,
exactly where I was going.
they did not say it. Like, did Gail say how long has it been since you talked to her? I don't remember.
I don't either,
It
but
didn't clock to me if she did, so it wasn't.
no, I don't remember anything specific at that point. But what I was going to bring up about
Mm-hmm.
that scene is we've had enough time that the way that Gail hugs her
Mm-hmm.
is a little more to me than just like putting your arm around
Mm-hmm.
somebody. I mean, it was like a whole,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
motherly taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a question I kept thinking this whole
Mm-hmm.
episode too.
Yeah, because also, this is nitpicky, but when we open, they're at Dawson's house hanging out. Andie has blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
The next scene is at school
Correct.
with her hair changed. So was that the weekend, and then her and Pacey didn't
Well,
see
no,
each
they
other?
say it's Friday. Because
When they're
remember,
hanging
Pacey walks up to her with her brown hair and he's trying to ask her to hang
Right.
out, and he says it's Friday.
at school, it's Friday.
Yes.
So
So they were hanging out maybe on a Thursday night or some night
then when
earlier that
did
week.
she do her hair?
Right.
So
I mean, you technically speaking, going dark like that, you could just go buy a box off the shelf somewhere at Walmart or a drugstore and go home and do it overnight. I mean, you could. Unfortunately, I've tried that before and it did not turn out that great. So
I don't know. That's nitpicky and silly, I guess.
no,
But it just goes right along with like Pacey getting all those phone calls and people for the teacher petition, all that stuff. It just happens overnight. It's
well,
just
I'm just as guilty of
funny.
nitpicking. I've already been nitpicking, but this is going to sound so ugly. I've just come to accept this storyline, or whoever writes some of these storylines does a pretty pitiful job at some things, and it's just how this show goes.
Yeah, and I wonder, I'll be interested because even shows I watch now, there's some of that, and it's like that doesn't actually make sense, or why did we not talk about that ever again? So
Right.
it's not just the time. I do think that they could get away with it, and even now there's shows that come on once a week. It's not all straight to streaming. I do think that there is something about when it's on a network television, channel, it comes on once a week. The difference now is that people still can stream it and still can like catch up on that episode. It's not like back in the day when if you didn't catch it
You had to wait for
here,
a rewatch.
you had to
or
either
a rerun. I mean,
you either had to wait for that or you just missed it and you had to watch the next episode and you just didn't know. or there was no watching it in the middle of the week, catching up, or rewatching it before the new episode. There was none of
unless
that.
you recorded it or
Right.
did a DVR
So
at some point.
I do think that they could get away with some things more back then that
But
didn't
that's
fully make
halfway
sense.
insulting to be like, oh, they're too stupid to figure it out.
No,
or to think
no, I
about
just
this.
really think they either brought in new writers or they didn't.
I
There
don't
wasn't
know.
a solid through line. I don't think it had anything to do with the audience. I think it was just they were kind of like they didn't even pay attention to it, so they're like they won't notice it either. Wrong, because I'm the one who notices things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's slightly insulting that they won't pick up on it. That's what I'm saying.
I take TV too serious to not pick up.
Well, correct, and that's what I said. That kind of stuff bothers me really badly.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, I just noted with Andie at school that morning that she is literally unraveling in front of all of us, like
Oh yeah,
completely unraveling. And
totally
Pacey's
erratic.
he's noticing. He clearly does not know to the full extent yet. But I
Yeah.
really just the whole thing when she was at therapy. Before everything happens at the house, when she's at therapy,
Yes.
you could just see it in her eyes. And then when she's in the car and she has a breakdown and she's like screaming, crying, and hitting the steering wheel, it was so sad. I mean, I gratefully have not had to deal with anxiety or mental illness in that way at all. Like, obviously, I get anxious about things, but it's not to the level of what people really do deal with anxiety or what Andie's dealing with at all. So, just like when the doctor is telling her, we may have to get on medicine, and she's like, you said I didn't have to. And the doctor looks at her and says, well, what's happening inside of you is not healing itself properly.
Right.
It was so sad because Andie is just, I can't imagine somebody saying that to me and me knowing something is not right.
Right.
Something is not working. I should not be having these thoughts or seeing people that are not actually here, or having full conversations, or being this erratic. She probably knows that she's so flip floppy back and forth and acting a certain way, and just not knowing how to fix it or handle it or make it better.
Well, the other thing that I think about when I see this episode is it's more than just seeing somebody, because she's having tactile experiences. Think about in the car after therapy where he's supposedly holding her. So what are you doing? Leaning across the console of the car, sobbing, and not trying to be insensitive to that sort of thing. But the reason I'm bringing it up is it makes me think about Izzy from Grey's Anatomy when she's beginning to find out that she has brain cancer, or it's the skin cancer melanoma that's spread to her brain. Isn't that what it was? I know it was melanoma to begin with, and then it had spread. Anyway, and she's seeing Denny and all that, and it's apparently there's a different form of just like you're seeing people, just seeing them, but then you start having tactile experiences, and I don't know anything about all that stuff, but it's a different level of whatever. So
yeah, it made me really sad,
right,
because I can't imagine how that must feel, like to know, like, 'cause she knows that it's not normal,
right. I mean, she has to know, which is why she starts trying to deny it in therapy that she's seeing. No, I don't think I saw Abby. I don't think I saw her.
Yeah.
Like she starts retracting what she said. And then, of course, when she gets into the car after therapy and she's sitting there with Brown, or Tim, her brother, and he's like, did you tell her about me? And she's like, no. So it's just, I don't know. It's odd, and the brain is a very incredible thing. The power that it has to do different stuff for better or worse. It's crazy. It's hard to comprehend what all your brain is able to do and comprehend.
Yeah. But Andie, like, she knows that he's not really there, because when the whole thing with Pacey, like,
right,
she knows that it's like it's like a war inside of her of like she
Mhm.
sees him and she's communicating. She doesn't want him to leave. She doesn't want to choose and say goodbye, but she knows he's actually dead. Like she
Right.
knows. That's the difference I think in her and her mom, because the mom really had herself convinced he was upstairs in his room.
Right.
He was still here. And she's telling other people about him.
Well, I think that there's some level again of denying or denial going on in the midst of the warring internally, because she's fully aware of the fact that he isn't real,
Mm-hmm.
but she is seeing him and
Mm-hmm.
experiencing him, as far as like hugging and stuff. But there's just this, I'm trying to find my words, but thinking about when she's in that bathroom and he's begging her to choose him instead of Pacey. And that's not the first time that he's told her to choose
Mm-hmm.
him over Pacey. Like when she's in the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and Pacey comes downstairs and he's like, "Who were you on the phone with?" "Well, I wasn't on the phone with anybody."
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting defensive. She is somewhere caught between reality and that mental state
Yeah.
that I don't know. It's she does believe that he's there in the fact that she knows that he's not real. Do you follow me at all?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
in comparison to the mom who just literally is outside of reality.
Yes. Yes.
She's somewhere caught between
Yeah.
the two.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that took me a long time to explain.
No.
Just that's basically what I was trying to say.
Yeah. That's the difference in her and her mom. Like
Yeah.
they're struggling with essentially the same thing. They can't move on. But Andie's was triggered by Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Like she obviously has already been dealing with bipolar and these mood swings since she was on medication, but it got triggered because she's been weaning off of her medication
Right.
and then the death of Abby. Yes, but the scene with when Jack comes in, Pacey is cleaning up the mess,
Yes.
and Jack realizes who she's been talking to
Mm-hmm.
because he just says, I don't know, somebody named Brown. That's when Jack realizes who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Andie is walking down at the same time and says,
Yeah.
That's my name for Tim.
Yes, because something about she couldn't say his name, so she called him her favorite color, which is brown.
Mm-hmm. When she was little. So that's when the reality hits Pacey of what's going on.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I made a note of, and I'm, again, not trying to nitpick or poke holes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in some ways, I love Pacey's role. I am not treading on that at all. Just hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little mature, and where's my note that Pacey shows some incredible insight and maturity in the way that he handles this. Not just, trying to be as compassionate as possible, but even like the scene with her on the other side of the bathroom door and he's begging her to open the door up and choose him, to come out and choose him. Like the way that he tries to like redirect the way that conversation is going to kind of help pull her out of it. For somebody who has had zero experience that we're aware of with anything like this at 16 years old, I don't know who I know of, at least when I was back at 16, that could have necessarily done that. And at that, Jack, who has experienced some of this with his mom, has zero.
I know, but
insider
I think
help.
Jack,
I think that he just kind of
he lives in denial of
right.
it all.
He just tries to keep space from the whole thing. Again, and I'm not trying to poke holes, but it's like,
well, but I do think that Pacey didn't start out that way.
no, I mean he's
In the
gradually
episode,
gotten here
because, well, even in just this episode, because when she first goes in that bathroom and closes the door, he's frantic,
right,
banging on the door, get out, come out here, like begging.
That's what I meant
Then
by
the gradual.
Well, no, when he in that scene specifically, when I'm like,
Yeah, right.
he changes the way he's talking.
Yes.
He redirects the way he's talking to try to
Yes.
help pull her out.
Mm-hmm.
But even his character as a whole, I feel like he's gradually gotten
for sure
to this
and
point.
I agree that like how is he mature enough to do this? he also did it with the mom though at the grocery store in that episode. He was able
Right.
to redirect and
Yes.
change it. How he has gained these skills, I don't know, but
I don't either, but
I guess
it's necessary because
yeah,
otherwise this whole thing flops.
yeah.
And that's what I meant by I'm not trying to tread on his
I guess
role.
we just need to attribute it to just his character and who he is. Like he is the
I know. Kudos to him.
yeah,
It's just that it just feels like a stretch to me, that's all. In
yeah,
some regard.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, we have seen him mature a lot.
Yeah.
So,
I know, but to do the mental cartwheels that you would have to do to keep up with the mental situation that's occurring, it's a lot.
yeah.
And I feel like even at my age now, it would be hard to not just kind of be like, we need to find you some help and not be able to go that deep
Yeah.
because sometimes people they just get so erratic and irrational that they
Mhm.
just
But she's already I don't disagree with you. That's not what I mean by when I say but.
oh no, you're fine.
With her, she's already started this erraticness, like coming down the stairs and you think I'm crazy.
Oh,
And they're
right.
trying to be like, we don't think that. So it's
No,
like
right.
they already know that if they say the wrong thing, it's going to send her in the opposite direction. So
Mhm.
maybe a combination of all these little things.
Yes.
I still agree. It's asking a lot of.
One of the main things that I'm something you just said trigger or made me remember when he starts telling her that it's not fair that he can see me but I
Mhm.
can't see him, so I need you to tell me what he's saying. That's one of the lines or the main parts of that situation that makes me think like, how do you at 16 think of that? That's my main thing. And
Yeah, that one,
I'm
yeah.
not mad about it. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be, I mean, that's what I'm getting at when he
Mm-hmm.
starts redirecting the conversation in a way to try to help
Mm-hmm.
pull her out of it, to not make her feel like she's alienated
Mm-hmm.
and crazy. Like, no, we don't think you're crazy, we know you see it, we believe you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not fair that he can see me and I can't see him. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's basically the point of the maturity and all that I'm like, it's necessary, I love it, it needs it, but I'm like, how do you get there at 16 and
Yeah.
you have no previous
Or
like
even
serious
saying,
previous experience with
even
this?
saying at the end of that when she's like, "No, I don't want to choose." She's telling Tim that,
Yes.
and Pacey's like, "No, you need to."
Yes.
Because me, I would be like, "No, it's okay. We don't have to. We don't have to
Right.
choose. We'll
Right.
discuss this." Like that would be kind of me, like trying to diffuse it in a different way. But he was like, "No, you need to.
Right.
You
Like
need to."
there's a part of me that feels like this kind of the way he's handling this feels almost like he would need to have been told by a doctor or a therapist or somebody how to navigate some of
Yeah.
this. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And we clearly know that he has not been to therapy with her.
Right.
So nobody has told him to do this.
Right.
And again, I feel bad for harping on it, but it just this goes back to some of the things about this show that kind of irk me slightly.
Well,
But
I get it.
anyway, I appreciate it. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's necessary. It makes for the whole episode. But
Yeah.
no, when he starts telling her it's not fair that he can see me and I can't see him, I need you to tell me what he's saying. I mean, that's basically his way of unlocking the door to her head to figure out what's going on up there.
For sure. Yeah.
It was big.
And then he starts begging her,
Yeah.
choose me. I thought, well, there we go, Meredith Grey.
Oh, I know.
I think it every time. I think about it every time.
I love that scene with Mayor.
But it was like he starts to break down right there. Like he's starting
Oh,
to tear up,
absolutely.
and
Well, how could you
because
not?
there's no guarantee that she's gonna listen.
Well, there's no guarantee she's going to make it out of the like this mental situation that she's in at this time, because we know that the mom hasn't. You know, and then when they do get her out, and you know, Jack is saying that he needs to call his dad and get her help.
Yeah, Pacey doesn't want to admit it either.
No.
But then when Jack finally says, when he makes him realize, no, this is exactly what we've already dealt with
Yeah.
her, and we did not get her help when she needed it, because Pacey's like, maybe just time, Jack's like, no, that actually hurts it worse
Right. He makes the
because you let it
comment
keep
that
happening.
their mom, I'm trying to remember exactly how he said it, but I'll probably butcher it. That her grief was so overwhelming that she wasn't able to experience it or feel it with other people. Therefore, her subconscious had to create someone for her to experience it with or
And he
share it
said he
with.
felt so small and helpless.
Yes. I mean, I cannot imagine.
I know. Well, that would be so hard also when, as a parent, when you are grieving something so heavy, your other kids are grieving it too. And it's like, how do you help them through their grief while still also dealing with yours? And that's what she couldn't do.
Correct.
She could not do it. And I can't imagine.
Mm-mm.
I really can't.
I can't either.
Because you almost have to like put yours to the side for a little bit to help them through some of it and then pick yours up by yourself. And
I mean,
unless you have a partner who is helping you, and clearly
the dad
did not do
yeah.
that properly, and so out of sight out of mind for him. But this, when Pacey finally at the end of that scene and he says, call your dad, and he knows, I mean, I think he knows deep down that that probably means she's going to be leaving for some period of time. I mean, because the mom, well, we don't know. Let's not get back in that because we don't know where the mom is.
No.
But the dad has already, he doesn't live there. So if now we're asking for the dad to help, this is his child. I mean, we can't just assume he's going to leave her in Capeside to get help. I mean, the right thing to do would be the parent to take her with him to help her.
Right.
So I don't know if Pacey's been already thinking about that or not, but he's showing maturity in other ways, so why wouldn't he be thinking this already?
I know.
But when she rolls over and at the end
Yep.
of this whole thing, and he's just watching her sleep, and she says that she's scared and she doesn't want to lose him.
And she's asking what's going to happen to me.
Sad. Because it's not just about what's going to happen, like about where I'm going to get help and how this is going to, it's like literally what is going to happen to me, because she sees what's happening to her mom.
Right. But it has to be scary to know that you're mentally not in a stable place and you're experiencing things that are not normal and people don't understand, and because it's not normal, you don't know if very many people, I mean, clearly we know the mom hasn't been able to recover from this at this time, so it's like, where do I, like, where am I going to end up? It just,
and for whatever reason, she didn't like being on medicine, because that's why she stopped taking it to begin with.
Right.
So it's like now she's gonna have to get back on medicine.
I feel like the therapist was talking about like something that would be a different type of medication.
Right. But several episodes before, she stopped taking her medicine.
Correct.
So why? Because either the therapist tried to wean her off and that we didn't see those conversations, or Andie just didn't like being on it.
Well, sometimes it can make you feel different.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, was that doing that to her?
Right.
That's why so now having to be presented with the fact that you're probably going to have to get back on medicine. Like,
and I doubt it's going to be just some Xanax. Like, I feel like that's going to be another level of something.
Yeah. But he says, she says that she loves him, and he says she's never going to lose him, not now or ever. And he loves her too. And Pacey means it.
Yeah, he does.
He is not one to abandon anybody.
I know. Gotta love him.
So now, the other side of this episode.
Oh my God.
You know what? Dawson, fine.
Yeah.
Joey, there was one moment where I wanted to slap her. Jen, fine. Gail, gorgeous.
Yes.
Mitch and Nicole, disgusting.
I have written ick.
Yes.
So many times in here because of some of the things that either Mitch said or did, or just.
So it is Dawson and Joey's 1 month anniversary. How cute. and she wants to do something, and he's making it out that no, let's just, you know, watch a movie or whatever he says. And she's like, that's boring, I'm gonna do he's like, no, we're boring people. The whole time he's really got this plan, he's made reservations. And I did like the reveal of that to her, where he's like, we're people who make reservations 2 weeks out at this restaurant for, you know, for a special occasion.
To
and
be a
she's like,
surprise. Yeah,
yeah, that was a good reveal, I
it
thought,
was.
on his part. Because at first I forgot. I knew
Mhm.
that they ended up at the restaurant. I forgot that it was a surprise and all this. So when he was like, we're boring and trite people, I was like, what? But I
Yes.
get it now. It was anyways. So they go to this restaurant in downtown Cape Side,
Mhm.
Wilmington. And when they walk in, they don't have a table.
Well, the hostess says that he was not aware that there were 2
Yeah.
Leary reservations.
Which, when someone calls in to make a reservation and you realize that there's another one with that name, you need to clarify.
Right. But so what it made me think is that maybe when, let's say that Dawson made it 2 weeks ago, if Mitch had called any time within that 2 weeks to get a reservation, or if he showed up and just said, you know, like, hey, like, I don't know. But basically, my thing was, I took it as there was probably a mix up, that somebody was just told, oh, yeah, we've already got a reservation for you, basically. Does that make sense? Like, where Dawson had already made it, it got.
And Mitch is just that
given
kind of person
to
where
Mitch.
he's like, oh, great, because they just read my mind that I need a
Yes.
reservation. Yeah,
Yes,
that's his
that's
personality.
basically how I took that.
Yeah. And with Nicole, I can't stand her.
I can't
really
either.
can't stand her pretentious behavior. Even like at the table when they were all sitting there together, and she's like, well, first of all, this came out of nowhere, where she's like, your dad was telling me about your summer plans. You might do an internship in Hollywood. What?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Don't know. And
I wanted to really be like, that is just like a dad. Like,
yeah.
Dawson has probably it's just probably because of he wants to be a filmmaker, and the dad immediately goes, oh, he's going to Hollywood this year. Like,
Yeah.
that is just like a clueless dad. Like, not all dads are like that. I'm not generalizing.
An
I just mean
clueless
Mitch
dad.
is
Yes.
that dad.
Yes.
And because I really wanted Dawson to call her out or call Mitch out and be like, what?
Right.
Well, when did I say that? But didn't. So maybe we
No,
missed that
but he does other things that I appreciated him calling her out.
It.
Yes, Joey too.
Well, me too. But I did not agree with Joey when she calls him to the side and says,
oh, yeah, no.
You know, why are you acting like that? I
Right.
wanted Joey, without the whole setup thing, to be like,
Yes.
leave him alone.
Correct. Well, I mean, I made a note, so much for a romantic dinner or evening, because everyone ends up at this teeny tiny table. Because the I just had written that, you know, they mixed up the reservations. And anyway, the other thing that was cracking me up was, instead of phenomenal, persnickety was the theme word of this episode.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Dawson says it to Joey, and then Joey says it to Nicole.
Yes.
Yeah. But Gail and Jen end up there because she burns the pot roast that she is cooking for her and Jen.
Yes.
And I'm just thinking to myself, if I was cooking, it burned or something messed up, I am not getting that fancy in my little black dress and going to the French bistro. I'm going down to the McDonald's.
But the thing is, if you had to have a reservation,
right?
How?
Maybe you don't have to, and it's just recommended. But at that time,
the way that Dawson talked about how fancy this place is, and the fact he says he had to get reservations,
but they didn't have another table for Dawson and Joey, but Gail and Jen could
right.
Just,
again,
I don't know.
This episode,
I know. So, but anyways, Gail and Jen walk in. Everybody's noticed them. Gail and Nicole run into each other in the bathroom, and I just really want Gail to slap her. I really do.
I know.
I want her to, because when Gail is like, I was just gonna ignore you.
Yes, I was contemplating just ignoring you.
And then she says, well, I guess I'm just gonna leave. And she says, that would probably be best for Mitch.
Oh, the audacity.
Don't tell me. Well, my husband of 13 plus years, what's best for him.
Ex-husband.
They ain't signed it yet.
Okay.
Because
Well,
he
either
says in this
way.
episode, all that's left is signing signatures.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Well, it doesn't matter. I agree. Don't tell me that I need to go and you're just like whatever flavor of the week for
Ugh,
now. I just can't.
gross. Mitch just likes to have a female in front of him.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
It is. Because he's talking when the kids have set this up, Parent Trap-esque, as Gail says, that they turn on their Mitch and Gail song so that it will bring them together.
Yes, and she sends over, or Jen has a bottle of wine sent over that's special to them. And, he immediately clocks it and looks over at her and smiles. And to find out that it's actually Jen who sent it then makes me realize that she didn't even know that's why he was smiling at her when he looked over. But yeah, I mean, I thought some of that was very sweet, but then, the conversation turns to how she's going to be leaving and how Dawson may take that.
But it's really about him. It's really about Mitch.
I know.
Just be an adult and say, I don't want you to go.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I like when he says that wouldn't be fair to you to say that. Okay, but then say, he is a sub at the school. Just, he should say, I'll go with you or something, like, I guess it's not always that simple, especially when you're on the verge of divorce but you know what? You hadn't signed the papers yet. You still want to be together.
Yeah.
I
know.
But she knows exactly what those kids are doing. Because when they start dancing, you might have been looking down when they start dancing. And he says, thanks for the bottle of wine. And she says, bottle of wine?
No, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, because she looks up at the bar over his shoulder and sees them. I didn't know if you had seen that part.
And Jen smiles at her, and she smiles back because she realizes what's happened. Yes, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. So that whole conversation, though, she took that as, I'm going to stay because I'm going to fight for this and I want to be with him.
Well, of course.
But then she sees them canoodling.
Right. But before we go there, I did appreciate, when they're all still at the table and basically Nicole has told Dawson that there's other things he can do besides creative roles in filming, and it finally gets turned around to Dawson has repeatedly fired back. Joey has inserted herself. It seems like Nicole keeps basically, instead of eating French food, she is inserting her foot in her mouth all night for all the things that she harped on and was so critical about for his film. And Mitch finally he finally throws his 2 cents in about how you're supposed to be this film teacher and help basically cultivate their aspirations to want to achieve these dreams. And she's just shooting everything down left and right.
Yes, I can't stand it.
I can't either. But then he gets up and goes and dances with Gail to come back to an awkwardly silent table. And then my comment to you was when we see them canoodling on the dock, and Gail and Jen see it, well, they sure made up real fast. Because, I mean, she didn't act like she had a care in the world. That, it's weird. I can't stand it.
And after he was dancing with her close, and he's all but saying he doesn't want her to go. And now here he is.
Yes.
That's what I mean. He just, a female in front of him. He don't care.
No. Ugh. He's just a weak man.
Yeah. I don't know. And we end with Dawson and Joey canoodling in the rowboat. I could have done without all that.
I could have too. And that's also where I wrote a bunch of ick.
But what I did like,
speaks to her.
Right. But what I liked about what she said was, he says the night is still young, and she says, so are we.
Yes.
I liked that.
I did too.
And he does keep saying stuff, but he respects it in that moment of like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he continues, but whatever. He doesn't push anymore, I guess.
No.
I don't know. Overall, I mean, it wasn't, it's like the 2 storylines separate, they were fine. They didn't go together in the same episode, though.
No. Not at all.
So, if you had to give it a rating, what would you?
I'm giving it a 5.
Okay.
I thought about a 4, but
Mm.
I appreciated the opening scene enough, and then a couple of the kind of humorous comments here and there. But overall, there was not a whole lot of comedic relief or
Yeah, no. I'll do
anything
that too. I'll say
lighthearted.
5, honestly, because it's just kind of, yes, I do always think about the Pacey standing on the other side of the door
Mm-hmm.
trying to talk her down. I think about that.
That's the only reason why it's getting a 5.
Right. And that's why I kind of, when it comes to my MVP, I could go one of two ways. One would be like Pacey and how he handled
Well, that's
everything,
the easy answer.
or Dawson, Jen, and Joey. Really, Jen and Joey and their little plot at the restaurant. And Dawson really has no idea what's happening.
Well, that was actually my MVP.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I like that because I do like it when Jen and Joey are friendly to each other. We are on the same page on this episode because I think I'm going to, Pacey deserves it, but he deserves it every episode just about. So if there's something else, I'm going to give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's never lacking.
Well,
so
I ended up choosing that because I made a note, even considering Joey and Dawson at dinner and them standing up for Dawson, like Dawson standing up for himself against Nicole's comments and all that. But I appreciated it. Just was one of the only lighthearted moments in this episode of setting this up for Gail and Mitch to end up having that dance. So
yeah. Okay, so there's a goof that, there's plenty that we've pointed out, but here's one too. When the gang is all in Dawson's room talking, Jack says something about when we all started the school year. The school year started at the beginning of season 1 and continued into season 2. Jack and Andie weren't there at the beginning of the school year. They started at Cape Side mid-year at the beginning of season 2.
Yeah. Again, some people do not do a good job with writing.
And movies mentioned, the only one I remember hearing was Parent Trap. Because she refers to that, Gil does. But
I feel like there was another one, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember hearing anything about this, but St. Elmo's Fire was talked about. But I don't
even know what that is.
I've never seen it, but Rob Lowe is in it. It's old. But I don't remember when they would have said that, because in the beginning, when they're all in Dawson's room, they're talking about Beverly Hills 90210, which is a TV show. But the only one I clocked in my brain was Parent Trap, and that one wasn't even listed. So I don't know, weird.
That is weird.
Do you want to spin a wheel?
Sure. Most dramatic
character.
Oh.
Overall. Oh, actually, if we did overall, it would be Dawson, no doubt. So let's just do this episode. Most dramatic in this episode.
Maybe Nicole.
Okay.
For acting like his film is crap, but then, like he calls her out for saying, now that you're dating my dad, you're trying to.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I agree. Is it mean to say Andie?
I thought about it, but I feel like it might be a little insensitive to the situation. I mean, you're free to say it.
I'm going to go with Tim then.
Yeah.
Pretty dramatic, man.
Choose me.
I'm dead. So, are you saying bring her to the dark side? I don't. Okay, Tim. Tim is my most dramatic in this episode.
Okay.
Or Jack, when she finally comes out of the bathroom and he's like, he doesn't know what to do with himself, so he's like turning around.
Okay, literally, yes. I made a note of that in my head.
It was awkward.
Yes.
So maybe Jack in that scene specifically, because he doesn't know what to do with his hands, because he touches
or
her
his
hand,
body,
and he pulls away, and then he leans into the wall. Yeah. Okay.
All right. And that's a wrap on today's episode. If you loved hanging out with us, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, where you can watch this full video, and follow us on Spotify so you never miss a rewatch. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok for clips, behind the scenes moments, and all the nostalgia your heart can handle. Leave us a comment to rate the show, share the episode with a fellow roomie, because it truly helps more than you know, and we love hearing from you. We'll be back every Tuesday and Thursday with more laughs and more nostalgia and, of course, more rewatches. Until then, keep the remote close, the memories closer, and always be kind, rewind, and I skipped right over it.
Rewind.
Yeah. Rewind and press play again. Bye, roomies.
Bye.
I swear, I'm more out of it than I thought I would.
Roll the credits. Press play again. 2 roommates, 1 remote is fully DIY. Editing, us. Producing, also us. Recording, yep, still us. Posting it everywhere, shockingly, us again. 2 roommates, 1 remote, 0 team. So please clap accordingly. Thank you very much.